The general election is almost here, and in House District 33B, you have two candidates vying for the open House seat to become the next state representative from House District 33B. Guys, I have all of the info you need. Before this short video is done, you will know who is pro-life and who is not pro-life. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, I'm Ben Dorr, Executive Director for Minnesota Right to Life. And in House District 33B, you have Mark Bishofsky is the Republican running in the general election, and you have Josiah Hill running as the Democrat in the general. So to kick things off, I have some good news. Mark Bishofsky has pledged 100% support for life, for the unborn, for babies in the state of Minnesota. Specifically, when he filled out his Minnesota Right to Life candidate questionnaire, he pledged to be a no vote on taxpayer-funded abortions, which is fantastic because our tax dollars should not be funding the death of babies. We have some of the most extreme practices happening right now in Minnesota. They're not even laws, they're just practices. The legislature continues to fund abortion in Minnesota. Republicans and Democrats are voting for this stuff, but Mark Bishofsky says if he becomes the next state representative from HD 33B, he will be a no vote on taxpayer-funded abortion. So thank you for that, Mark. The next thing he promised is to defund Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is the largest abortionists in the entire state of Minnesota and the entire country. They kill more babies than anybody else in America, and they get huge amounts of our tax dollars. And Mark Bishofsky said, I'm going to be a no vote. I'm going to vote no on this stuff because he knows what we know, that not only is Planned Parenthood killing millions of babies in America, but at the same time, they're funneling millions of dollars into election coffers all across the country and right here in Minnesota to make sure that pro-abortion candidates win and go to state capitals across America and continue to fund their debauchery. That's what Planned Parenthood is doing. And so Mark Bishofsky says, I'm going to be a vote that defunds Planned Parenthood. He also filled out on the candidate questionnaire and said that he will be a strong supporter of life at conception legislation. It's great legislation. It will protect unborn babies. And it says legislatively that a life begins at the moment of conception. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No 20-week this. No, they can feel pain at this time. And no, none of that stuff. It's life begins at conception. This is a life. We're going to protect life, and life will be protected by Minnesota state law. That's what life at conception will do. And Mark Bishofsky said he will be a strong supporter of life at conception. So if you see Mark, thank him for being a staunch supporter of pro-life issues, of the babies, of the unborn. And when you go out to vote on November 8th, vote pro-life. But I have some bad news as well. The bad news is about Josiah Hill. Again, he's a Democrat running in this race. And we're a nonpartisan organization. I'm sure some places there are pro-life Democrats, but Josiah Hill is not one of them. Josiah Hill supports taxpayer funding for abortions. This is a big issue. Republicans and Democrats, but a huge swath of Democrats have been voting for this stuff in St. Paul for years. So not only does he want us to live with the idea that one baby every single hour in Minnesota is killed, 27 babies a day, but he wants you to continue paying for it. We have to pay for it, whether we like it or not. If you don't pay for it, you go to jail. That's what happens when you don't pay your taxes. And Josiah Hill is happy with that. So he supports taxpayer-funded abortions. It's terrible. He also supports late-term abortions. And this has become a huge thing for the radical left, the pro-death left, right? They used to say things like abortions should be safe, legal, and rare, right? You've heard me talk about that many times. Safe, legal, and rare. It's what the Democrats used to say. Now they say abortion on demand, whenever I want to, paid for with your tax dollars. And if you don't like it, you're a bigot and you're anti-woman. That's what they say. We say no. We say no. We're not in support of late-term abortions. I mean, some Democrats have openly talked on TV about supporting abortion after the moment of birth. Can you even fathom that? So a baby is born, and you know what? We just we've changed our minds. Now's not the right time. We know it's breathing, we know it's living, we know it's, you know, but we're just gonna kill it. So Josiah Hill, that's abominable. That's monstrous. And so the days of the left saying safe, legal, and rare are long gone. Now it's all abortions all the time. And Josiah Hill supports that too. Josiah Hill is just straight up refusing to support the unborn at all. And this is the big problem in the state of Minnesota. So if you see Josiah Hill, tell him to apologize. Tell him to apologize for his stance against life, against babies, against decency. I don't know how we got to be a society where killing babies was just something we did on the weekends. Um, but it's too much. It's far too much. So tell him to apologize for his pro-abortion stance. And now you have the facts on where your candidates stand. Be sure to share this video with your family, share it with your friends, share it with everybody you know who lives in HD 33B. And when you go out to vote on November 8th, and we all should, be sure to vote pro-life. Thank you, guys.